This morning on the Paper Talk, Manchester United are set to go head-to-head with Newcastle for a striker that they've already been linked with. Fabrizio Romano gives us an update on the 50 million offer that United have made to the Saudi Pro League for two players. And Manchester United zone in on Dan Ashworth as the next employee under Jim Ratcliffe. Let's get right into it. So, as we know, in the last, 24 to 48 hours, reports have suggested that Manchester United are willing to offer both Anthony and Jadon Sancho to the Saudi Pro League for a 50 million price tag each. Now, Fabrizio Romano has been speaking this morning about it, specifically about Anthony and the fact that he's been linked. He said to Offside... Romano clarified the situation around Anthony, saying we'll have to see if anything materialises in the coming days, but nothing of note to report at the moment. So it's all a bit kind of smoke and mirrors at the moment when it comes to Anthony. Nothing, obviously really being updated in relation to Sancho either. And I think that's quite understandable given the fact that he's on loan at Borussia Dortmund. And it would really be unfair to them if, he was being linked away from Manchester United while they still had him on loan. I don't know whether they're going to actually want to put in a bid for him in the summer or not. But Anthony is certainly a player that Manchester United could probably look at offloading in the summer also. We've heard over the last couple of days since Omar Barada has come in, and especially last night we were speaking about it, that he says 1 to 2 seasons for underperforming players, and then it's time to, get rid of them, cash in, move them on. And Anthony certainly falls into that category. Look, he's done basically nothing since he's arrived at Old Trafford. We spent way too much money on him, and I do go back to the fact that I think there wouldn't be as much pressure on him if we hadn't paid as much money for him as we did. But look, that's not his fault. He's still got to go out and perform on the pitch. Look, I'm sure off-field issues that he has been going through as well haven't been helpful for him. But again, Manchester United can't really wait for everybody. He's been given, he's had 18 months now of absolutely nothing. If he does have a good second half of the season, then we can look at potentially, using him as a squad player or whatever it may be. But I think Anthony's time at Manchester United is probably coming to a close. Now, again, we do know that players, are on big money at Manchester United. They tend to not get the same type of money when they go elsewhere. So is Anthony going to fall into the category of an Anthony Martial where he just says, no, I'm staying where I am. I'm happy just to pick up a paycheck every week? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I think it is, Anthony and Jadon Sancho are two of the players that fall directly into the category of clearing out the deadwood and trying to move on. Now, striking options, and we know Manchester United are going to be in the market for a striker in the summer, and a name that we have heard before being linked with Manchester United is Benjamin SESKO. Now, Man United did send scouts to watch him on the weekend playing in the Bundesliga, and look, another 20-year-old that we're being interested in. Now, Newcastle have reportedly reignited their interest in the player as well, and supposedly in the summer they will be going head-to-head with Manchester United for the player. Again, it's no secret that Manchester United are desperate for a second striker. And I mean, I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below, but let me know what you think. If going for another 20-year-old striker while already having a 20-year-old striker is the right option, I don't know if it is or not, to be honest, because you're putting all of your eggs in a very young basket, if that makes sense. Manchester United won't have an experienced striker within their ranks at all. Now, Anthony Martial will be gone. I would be reluctant to even put him in the experienced striker category. But Manchester United would have two 20-year-olds leading the line for the club, which is a massive, massive weight on both of their shoulders. Now, I'm sure the talent is there with both of them, but is there an argument for United to be going out, maybe getting a more established centre forward, maybe in his mid to late 20s, that can, I suppose, share the burden with Rasmus Højlund for the next 2, 3, 4 years. And then Rasmus Højlund is still only 23, 24 years of age, and coming into his prime. So Manchester United have a big decision to make in the summer. It is quite clear that we are going to need a second striker. Rasmus, and again, I want one in January. Forget about the summer so far. I would like to see a striker come in for a short-term loan deal between now and the end of the season. Look, we've been linked with Choupo-Moting, haven't we? But I think it's very important that Rasmus Højlund some of the burden is taken off him more than anything else, because as a 20-year-old trying to lead the line for Manchester United, it's not easy. I think the talent is there, and there's an awful lot of potential for Rasmus Højlund to go on and actually, be a world-class striker. But he's got to be given time, and the pressure needs to be taken off him a little bit. Now, is putting another 20-year-old in beside him going to do that? I don't know. Both players are going to want to be number one. Both players are going to want to play all of the time. I'm sure they won't be able to do that. So would a Benjamin Sesko even be happy coming to Manchester United, knowing that basically there's already a carving copy of him, at the club, who has a 12-month start on him? I'm not 100% sure. But look, it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on over the coming weeks and months. But like I said, Manchester United, we need a striker in January on loan and again in the summer. Now, there has been some calls as well, while we're on the striker front, for youth to be given a chance within the ranks of Manchester United for the next 6 months. Specifically Dan Gore. Now, look, we know Manchester United are looking at a short-term loan deal for a potential striker coming in, Choupo-Moting, whoever it may be. But a lot of people are putting calls out for Dan Gore to be given the opportunity to be that backup striker. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Fabrizio Romano has reported that he has completed the first part of his medical ahead of his loan move to Port Vale. The final part of the medical will take place tomorrow, which is actually today, because Fabrizio was saying that last night. So it does look like Dan Gore is going to go out on loan to Port Vale. I think it's probably the right move for his development, to be honest with you. I think if he was to stay at United as the backup striker to Rasmus Højlund, he would be only probably playing anywhere between 5 and 10 games between the end of the season. Whereas if he goes to Port Vale, he's probably going to play every single game, get some really good game time under his belt, toughen him up a little bit, and hopefully come back a better player. He'd probably end up going on loan again next season, to be quite honest with you. Again, if we're going to sign another striker in the summer. So, look, while I understand a lot of fans like to see the youth being given a chance, and I think this is a good opportunity for him to be that backup striker, but I think he would benefit more from going out on loan than he would if he actually stayed. Now let's talk behind the scenes, and as we know, Omar Barada is the new CEO of Manchester United, and according to reports, Peter Hall has been saying that basically Dave Brailsford is now has his sights set with laser focus on Newcastle's Dan Ashworth. Look, Dan Ashworth is the wanted man now at Manchester United, and whatever about a week ago, whether Dan Ashworth would have accepted, a role at Manchester United, I think, even within the space of a week, we're after seeing such massive improvements at the club. Omar Barada is an absolute fantastic signing for Manchester United. We have heard that Jean-Claude Blanc will be part of the Manchester United board and will work alongside Barada as a kind of a non-executive board member, which is brilliant as well. So they look like they're going to be the two behind the scenes that are working on the structure of the club and maybe bringing in some endorsement deals and building from the outside in and so on and so forth. Whereas you're looking at Dave Brailsford wanting the likes of Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth is going to be coming in, getting his feet under the table and really trying to form a squad and I suppose put foundations in place for Manchester United to be successful in the long term, and that's what we want. All we've asked for as fans, we've been saying it for 6-7 years now, and Gary Neville has coined the phrase best in class, and he's right in what he's saying. Manchester United need to have the best in class, and Jean-Claude Blanc and Omar Barada in the background, with Dave Brailsford, Dan Ashworth, and potentially even Paul Mitchell coming in as well. Supposedly, now these rumours are rumours, but we certainly are looking at the best in class, and it just stinks of Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe. The Glazers wouldn't have a dicky bird on how to put something together like this, and Jim Ratcliffe hasn't even been ratified yet, and he's already making more waves in, a couple of months than the Glazers have in 18 years, 19 years, nearly 20 years at the club. So, look, it's exciting times for Manchester United. It really is. And I do think that we do need to be patient as fans because, it is going to take some time. Now I think the summer transfer window is going to be really important. Again, reports coming out this morning that United are potentially only looking at one loan player coming in, and it's basically to keep as much cash as possible to go hell for leather at the summer transfer window. So there's big changes coming on the horizon for Manchester United, both behind the scenes and you would think in the playing staff in the next months. We'll see what happens by the end of August, start of September this year. But it's exciting times for Manchester United. We're finally getting a bit of positivity around the club, and it is long overdue. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Please smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new. We're nearly at 7,000 subscribers, trying to get to 10,000 before the end of the season. I'll be back tonight from 8 o'clock for the Transfer Talk Show. We'll go in about all of these stories in depth. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll chat to you later.